yeah, I'm going to keep going because I think this is therapeutic for me, and I think I do need to get some of these things off my chest. And it's not about him. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus or anything like that. It's about me. It's about me, and there's a lot of things that I regret about the way that things happened. And some of it is to do with my illness. Some of it is to do with, like, my partner, like, trying to appease everybody, like, because we had to move back to the UK, and, like, on one hand there was my family and their needs, yeah, and, like, my dad, he was, really with the Parkinson's, and like, my mum needed help, and dad needed support with things, and so I had family commitments, but then at the same time we still had commitments in Cyprus, and, like, I didn't even want to go back to the UK when I did, and it was always, like, when Will and I had made a plan beforehand about what we were going to do, but he changed all of that. He did that unilaterally. He was supposed to leave money in the account to cover the direct debits. He didn't. He emptied out the bank accounts. All of them. The guy that was renting my dad's house, he asked him to pay the rent into Will's account. The what? I mean, and he contacted me and said, oh, Will said I should pay the rent money into his account. And, yeah, no, it should still go into my dad's account. And then when I did go out to the UK, it was like I was supposed to go back to Cyprus, but then Will didn't have, like, he'd gone over to the UK with, I don't know, 5,000. By the time I got there, like, I went, I think, 2 months later, all that money was gone. I don't know, he needed his teeth done, he paid for the car all up front, on insurance, he didn't do anything on installments, or he just spent everything. And he was also apparently going to the pub, like, he was staying at my sister's. My sister wanted him to go out and eat here, eat there, go. I was always supposed to go back to Cyprus. That was the original plan, and we did have somebody who wanted to look at the house to rent it, and Will kept saying, what are you talking about? There is nobody. And I was like, well, don't ask me, ask Amy had somebody lined up. Now Amy backed me up, like, nobody backed me up. Everybody, because Will's such a nice bloke, everybody wants to get on with Will, because, and what the hell, me, I was, and that's, like, fine, but there was so much that was up about that time, that situation. He wanted me to go and get a job again, he wanted me to work, and it's like, oh, it was just so much, and just, like, lots of little ways that he, and the R word, it did happen, because we were living in a house share, there was a lot of access to drugs. He would stay up with the other housemates doing I don't know what. I would go to bed. He did wake me up one night, and he demanded his marital, and that was I think the first time I left him. And I'm sorry to Gaynor. That was just before you guys went on holiday to Thailand, and we were supposed to go and house sit and look after the dog. And what was I going to say? What am I going to say to people, to my friends? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't be around my husband at the moment because I don't know who the fuck he is anymore. Because I don't know who he is. Because everything that we agreed, everything, and now the way that he treats me and who he is, and everything he's doing, I don't care about him in all of this. I'm sorry, I mean, I don't mean it like that. But what I mean is, it really did fuck me up. It really did fuck me up, and I think it would fuck anyone up. And I do believe that I was potentially married to a narcissist, and it's very difficult for me to see it any other way, because when he had the opportunity to, because he was still doing that whole thing where he goes and says to everybody, oh, I love her so much, I love her so much, and I do so much for her. But then it's like, if I needed to go and get my prescription from the chemist or something, and this one time and it was snowing and there was snow on the pavements on the road and everything, and he told me, you can go and get it yourself. But then he gave the other housemate a lift down to the shop, which is like 20, 30 yards. Well, no, that's okay. If you take the car park, okay, it was a Tesco's, right? So it's huge, right? But they was just there next to the pharmacy. Even if he'd taken her to the shops and I could have gone and but no, he told me to go and walk, but he'll take her down to the shops to go and get her pear cider, And then the stuff like, why can't you look like her? Well, for a start, she's 18 years old, and her drug dealing boyfriend pays for her to get her glam done. It's not a fucking mystery. When I did get back to Cyprus, after I did the contract in the UK, I'm just getting it all out now. Just throw it all out there. When I did get back to Cyprus, after I'd done the contract in the UK and after we got married, and I don't know, and then it sounds really bad, right? Like, I don't know why I was looking on his phone. It's not like, but back in the day, we were always, like, we didn't use phone locks, and because there was nothing to hide. Don't ask me how or why I looked on his phone. It's not, I promise you, it wasn't because I didn't trust him. It wasn't because I was looking because I thought there was something going on. That's not the situation at all. I don't know what it was. I don't know why. I don't know. It could have been anything. Take your pick. He'd been sending sex messages to some bird at work saying that he wanted to meet her in the toilets and have sex with her. So I don't know if you remember, but like I did, after I first came back from the UK and we were married, I did change my name on Facebook. Because my intention was to take my married name, but I was going to be Jane Catterson Whitmore. But when I saw those text messages, I went and stayed in my house. I went down to the little house. I left. I Facebook divorced him. Ooh. I changed my name on Facebook back to Jane Catterson. And I never did change my name to my married name because, but again, I tell you, red flags, red flags, red flags. And then the whole thing, my 40th birthday, yeah, my next major MS attack. And I did. I put a picture on Facebook of him sleeping in my hospital. First of all, we went out on my birthday. He needed to be. I couldn't. I had what do they call a cannula. I was doing outpatient treatment for IV steroids. Okay, so the whole time I've got the IV thing in my hand. They leave it in there, and they just hook me up. You go in the morning, they hook you up to the IV, and then they disconnect you, and then you go home for the night, and then you come back the next day, and they give you this injection to open up your veins, and then they start you up again on the IV. So I can't drive while you've got that in your hand, especially because they put mine like where my wrist is, so it's not like I could be. You can't change gear. You can't. I mean, maybe if I had an automatic, but whatever. So he was supposed to drive me to the hospital in the morning. And don't get me wrong here, okay? Other people can vouch for me on this. John picked me up from the hospital for Will didn't want to go to the hospital, and he didn't, and that's okay, because like a lot of people don't like hospitals, right? And he was working and stuff, right? I mean, obviously I'm off sick, and but so it was my birthday. We went out. The next day, he was hungover. He was late getting up. He was bitching like mad. He got me to the hospital. I was, oh, I don't know, 2 hours late. My vein had started to close up. They had to change the cannula. They had the injection to reopen the vein didn't work. They had to find another. They could do the cannula again and then plug me in again. And then he was so hungover, I let him sleep in my hospital bed. So I sat in the chair, and he slept in my hospital bed, and he was too warm and stuff. He was so we had the aircon on in the room, and I was too cold, so I had a blanket on me. And that day was the longest day for my IV treatments. I think it took, oh, this is so bad, I want to say it took nearly 8 hours. And he wouldn't even leave. He did leave the hospital, of course, because he got bored as fuck, whatever, after he'd had his sleep and whatever. Then he came back and he bought himself some shorts. Oh, who gives a shit? Did he bring me any food while I was hooked up to an IV for 8 hours? No. There were a lot of red flags. That's all I'm saying, okay? Did he R-word me? Yes. Did he hit me? Yes. Did I hit him? Yes. Did I eventually spit on him? You bet your fucking ass I did. At the end of it, did I absolutely hate him? No, I didn't. I didn't hate him. I would have liked to have dealt with it all better. At the same time, I did have, I had to leave there. I went to Stonwood. I can't with him. I got played. I got played big time. I mean, and like I said, it's not just, it wasn't just the breakup. It was, the stuff that happened when I was in the UK, and all the money that I earned from that went to them. We really should have gone back to the UK, and I should have been getting treatment, and we should have been resettling our life then. But he didn't want to, and I go for a job. And what's he said? Don't oversell yourself. And you know, you don't want someone like that. I understand the job was important, but you want someone who builds you up, who encourages you, and I totally. Like, I ended up, my final salary is something close to my bloody starting salary. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. Okay, and then that doesn't sound so good when I say the guy that took over after me was on like twice my salary. But there were lots of red flags. That's the point. And the sexting with the cleaner at work. What was her name? Linda. Linda? Oh, I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? The point is, I was a fool. And I've only got myself to blame. I would attach a huge health warning to this man. I don't know what's happening in his life like that. I do know that I very much, and unfortunately, because of the way that I behaved with the breakup, but then, and I don't know if this will make sense to anyone, I was in an incredibly psychologically, emotionally delicate state. I had no safe place to go to. I wanted to go back to Cyprus. I couldn't. I didn't have the money. It was. And, you know, for all intents and purposes, you know, I'd been in Cyprus for 10, 11, 12 years, whatever, you know. I know I'm up in Chester, maybe I've got friends down in London, but I don't have any friends up here. I didn't know people. Everybody knew my sister, and my sister doesn't, if you know anything about my relationship with my sister, or she doesn't like me very much. She says I don't like her. I don't believe that's true. I think it would help a lot if my family, whether it's my mum, my sister, you know, accepted that I do have physical issues now. You may not be able to see them, but I do, you know. I don't hear very well, I can't see very well, I've got these issues with my vestibular system, I've got the tremors. All of that usually ends up with some fatigue. The only way I get through a day is with a reasonable amount of medication and then an amount of alcohol, which tends to make me, again, tired. And so I need a lot of sleep because I've got a brain injury, you know. My brain don't work so well. I can't. So stop comparing me to Jane from 5 years ago. Not 5 years ago, not 10 years ago. All the time. Like, you know, listen to my MS journey, listen to how it progressed, listen to. I try and stay positive. That's why I've limited contact with these people now. I love them, I miss them. But I can't be around you, you know. I need to be around people who are positive, happy, accept me, don't judge me. Stop asking me for shit I can't do. And then be shitty with me when I can't do it. Why are you surprised? I'll tell you up front I can't do it. Yeah. No. I made a big ass mistake there. Big ass mistake with my husband. We had a great time, I thought. You know, it's very difficult for me now because I've got like this gap, like. But he's not the same person. He turned into somebody different. He wasn't. Like, he'd already started to dress slightly differently when he was in Cyprus. I'll give you that, right? But when we got back into the UK and stuff, and after the second time I'd left him, because he found a flat that we could share, but obviously he couldn't afford it on his own. So, we got back together again, and I paid for the deposit. Did I ever get the deposit back? Did I fuck? And that's why I say I got played, right? Because every instance of this man trying to hold on to me or keep me in his life for him is about meeting his needs. And absolutely none of it was about mine. So if you're going to interact with him, good luck to the new woman. I don't know for sure, but I think it's his mate from work. I think it's his mum. I mean, that's another thing, you know. He starts hanging out with 20, 25-year-olds or whatever, and I think 25 might be the oldest person. Do you know what I mean? They were young people. Like, this is like it's like a third midlife crisis or so. It changed everything. It changed. I'm so ungrateful for everything. He bought the deck and that, but then I paid for the license, and I got him. He doesn't even remember when we discussed this and we talked about getting him a professional. He had a license, but when he took the laptop to the UK, and then he got that white, he got like a cracked software. But if he'd have taken the effort to go into his emails and find the email with the license confirmation, he could have had. Oh. Jesus. It's that sort of shit. And then there was that stuff that he put on Facebook about someone trying to enter his... No one tried to enter your YouTube account. I can't even remember my own passwords. You think I can remember yours? They might have been stored on my device and stuff, but even my passwords that are stored on my device are not... I can't see them. Do you know what I mean? Like, no. Just at that point, no. You with your Facebook and your passwords, you're lazy. You're lazy about everything. Why haven't you divorced me yet? Oh, you want to add that onto my list of stuff to do? You want me to do it? It's on the list. I've got a load of stuff on my list. I'm a Catholic. I told you I never want to... You want to live with somebody else and you want to do that sort of stuff? No. I'm so sorry, Joe. I'm so sorry. I did the paperwork for his divorce from you. I did. Oh, that's another thing that really hurts me. When I was with Will and your father, and I'm so sorry for this, and, you know, much sympathies and everything, and you used to ring him up, and I would say to him, go and talk to her, because that's horrible. You know, she needs people. She needs... And what did I get from him when my father was ill in hospital and dying? You know what he said to me? I think he sent me some shitty email, and it was like, I'm sorry for your loss. Or it was just it was like that. But then 2 o'clock in the morning and he's drunk and he's listening to music or whatever, he sent me some shitty fucking song. I don't know. That went on for a while and then it stopped. But I can't make contact with you to have a conversation. But you can get drunk and send me passive-aggressive horseshit bullshit. I'm not even surprised, because that's the sort of shit that you did, okay? You were just not nice. You were not nice. He was emotionally abusive, he was physically abusive, and sexually abusive, okay? So I'm just letting you know. You want to get involved with that's fine. Okay, just never stop giving him what he needs. You stop giving him what he needs, that shit gonna turn ugly. And don't expect him to do anything. He won't do anything. Right, that's it. I'm done. I think I've got it all out now. Oh, thank you very much for that. Oh. And I don't really care that much anymore. I don't, okay? Because my life has moved on, yeah? Like his has. You know, good luck to him. No, seriously. I do. I miss Jamie, I miss Tom, I miss Jerry, I miss Joan. I hate not knowing what's going on with them. I used to be in touch with Zoe, but I came off Facebook. And I was sincere, I was genuine. I don't mean any... I don't have to know about him. I don't give a shit about him anymore. I don't know him. But I miss these people. I wish them well, and, you know, I let them in. You know, Millie and Albert, you know, I let these people into my life. I opened my heart to them. I cared about them. Yeah. Anyway, that's the way it goes, isn't it? Vulnerability. If you open your heart up to people, you know, you make yourself vulnerable. You're gonna be... What did the Queen say? Yeah. I'm not going to say it, I can't remember, but it's something about, like, if you love people, you open your heart to them, you love them, you feel, you know. But you got to be prepared to... Either they're going to lose you or you're going to lose them. But it hurt a lot, and he said a lot of things to me. He said, like, passive-aggressive type bullshit, you know. But that's okay now, because now, you know, you live, you learn, right? That's a tricky lesson to learn, but I learned it. I am much happier now, and I'm much more careful about the people that I have in my life. but I'm also more aware of me and what I can do. And I mean, obviously I've got my health challenges and that sort of practical side of stuff, but I don't know, it would have been... The thing that really upset me was, like, there were a lot of things that... There were things that were open to us, there were things that we could have done, there was progress that could have been made, but he never wanted to do anything. He was never committed to it. He never... He just wanted to go and do his job and earn his money and have someone do his laundry and feed him and service him and, you know. But he didn't want to... I mean, when he started asking, you know, when I used to say to him, you know, I'll support... I'm just filling time now until this runs out. I don't really give a shit. But, you know, he pretended he didn't know what support meant. He didn't know what being supportive meant. It's just that simple. He just changed. He just changed. He was a different person. I don't care. Right, okay, good chat. I feel better for getting that out of my... Right then. I'm going to go and have a pee. Another pee. I don't know, like, part of me is like, oh, one day divorce papers are just going to show up. Well, maybe they won't. But if he's living with someone else, then I don't understand why. And he doesn't want to be my husband anymore. He doesn't want to be married to me. It's like he said to me, he never meant his vows. I was his good time wife. So he used me, right? I got played. Lied to. Played. I was a fool. There were flags. I should have seen the flags. I saw the flags. I ignored the flags. I'll live to regret this, but I would like to see him make the effort, and maybe now with the right person, and apparently he stopped smoking, and maybe he doesn't drink so much, and he's not a belligerent asshole anymore. Maybe this is the right person for him. Good luck to you, fantastic, okay? Divorce me. Why haven't you divorced me? Answer that question. I know why I haven't divorced you. You're on my list, but I haven't got to it yet because I can't get through my fucking list because I've got so much else to do with the family and everything, as you should well understand and know. Oh, that time, the woman from America wanted to buy my house, and he sent me a message saying, oh, she wants to buy your house and she wants to pay the money to me, but I don't think you'll like that very much. You asshole. That is the sort of asshole he is, okay? Just know who he is. I should have known. I didn't. I didn't pay attention. Right, that's it. Good luck to the new one. Keep providing for him. I hope you never need anything from him because you might find it lacking.